least the meeting deserves is to know what it's voting on, right? And the motion is to amend Article 7, Capital Expenditures for Fiscal 04, by deleting line A under Fire Department to replace Deputy Chief Vehicle, costs $24,000, total per article to read $204,000. Submitted by Nick O'Brien, 95 Park Street, North Reading. On the motion to amend, Mr. O'Brien, do you wish to speak to your motion?
Yes, I do. Thank you, Mr. Moderator. $24,000 doesn't seem like a lot of money. Let me give you a couple of examples of what $24,000 would buy. It would put a big dent in one teacher's salary. It would buy a lot of books so people wouldn't have to go around the community soliciting for funds to buy books. It would buy an imaging piece of equipment for the fire department. I understand we have one at town meeting granted to the fire department, and another one that's presented as a gift to this community. They run about $24,000. $24,000 would take care of a couple of items in this particular article, specifically repairs for the roofs in the town buildings, and a good chunk of the painting for the library. It would be enough to pay for all the furniture that's being requested for the school department. So I cite those examples, $24,000 well spent. But 3 years ago, I asked town meeting to consider recycling a police cruiser to the fire chief. The fire chief prevailed at town meeting. The town meeting granted him an SUV. Part of that request by the fire chief at the time was to provide a command vehicle for the department. I dare say, and I'm not snooping around, I was in the parking lot at Sears a couple of weeks ago, and I noticed to this day we don't have any special equipment in the back of this vehicle for a command vehicle. And yet that's what convinced not a meeting person that vehicle. He said he needed it. It appears, and he stated this to the selectmen a few weeks ago, that he uses this vehicle, I would suggest primarily, to attend meetings and seminars, and I support that. I think it's necessary to keep his level up so he can deal with the current issues. But it appears that this particular vehicle is being used for that purpose and not the one that was requested at town meeting.
Mr. O'Brien, I think you're getting a little bit far afield here.
I'm trying to stay within the four corners.
Yeah, you laid out the land, but I wish you would stay on the Deputy Fire Chief's vehicle.
My focus is on the deputy's vehicle. So I'll bring it up rather quickly. I would suggest that meetings be attended by our chief, his own vehicle, with mileage paid for, and this particular vehicle he's in. Now he's become the deputy's vehicle when chief is not in town. Or, once again, I request that we recycle a fully inspected 1 or 2 year old police cruiser for the deputy to use. It's a safe vehicle. It would be used exclusively, I would suspect, around town. If the deputy needed to go out of town, the town vehicle, the chief's vehicle, could be used for that purpose. The chief has suggested, again to the town meeting, to the selectmen, that should he prevail again, there's a possibility that he would take this new vehicle and the SUV would go to the deputy. But, as reminded by one selectman, this article deals with a vehicle for the deputy chief, not for the chief to have a new vehicle to relinquish his to the deputy. So once again, I would urge the town meeting recycle a police cruiser to be used for the deputy. And again, I think most of his duties are right here in town. A safe inspected vehicle would be available. So I respectfully request the town meeting support this amendment because it is not necessary to purchase a new vehicle. In conclusion, I'd just like to bring your attention to the first page in the warrant. The citizens checklist for town meeting. The first article, is it necessary? Hopefully, I've said no, it's not necessary. Or is it something that is not really needed, perhaps already being provided by a private group or public group? I suggest town meeting, the public group, could provide a recycled vehicle to the deputy. I don't think it's necessary to spend $23,000 for a brand new vehicle to be used right about time. Thank you very much.
Any further discussion on the motion to amend? Gentlemen at the microphone, please state your name and address, sir.
Gerald Woodman, 34 Elm Street, North Reading. A couple of points. First one is basically on furniture replacement. I think this whole school department thing should not be brought up. It's a way to go around 2.5. First thing, furniture replacement, regular maintenance.
Mr. Woodman, see, we're talking about the deputy chief's vehicle. We're not talking about any of the other things. We're not talking about any motion right now. So everything, the only thing that would be in order for you to talk about is the deputy fire chief's vehicle.
I would like to see the deputy's chief, A, voted on, B, voted on separately, each one voted on separately on this whole thing. This way maybe we can clear it up and get it done fast.
Well, we will be voting separately on the deputy chief's vehicle by voting on the motion to amend. Mr. Vino.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Joe Vino, 11 Rock Street. I will be voting against the amendment to take this figure down. I think what town meeting has to realize is that when a police vehicle is recycled, it's not worth too much money, and it's not safe. It's used, it's inspected, but I mean, the vehicles that the police, the fire, and DPW drive should be in better than good condition. Good condition means it passes inspection. As far as it staying around town, we always recycle a police cruiser to the animal control officer. We generally give him the best of the cruisers to be recycled. My understanding is, and I don't know how long ago it was, I don't want to say within the last 6 months, his right front wheel came off the cruiser. So I really think that for a matter of public safety, we should give this vehicle. The wording of the article, I'm not going to speak on that. I might have worded it different because I watched the discussions too. But the bottom line, I feel, is that they do need the vehicle. And I feel we should give them the vehicle. Whoever it goes to, that is up to the chief, is my understanding. So I'm not going to comment on that. But I think they should get the vehicle and not a recycled, worn-out police cruiser. Thank you.
Mr. Muldoon.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. I really have no argument with Mr. O'Brien's how $24,000 could be better spent, but this is really not a discussion about the chief's vehicle. He's in full agreement that this vehicle will be given to the deputy chief. If you may have noticed the deputy chief's car back in the fire station, there's a reason for that. That is a 1989 Chevy Impala. It is literally falling apart. The steering wheel is broken, and it has failed motor vehicle inspection. It is no longer able to go on the road. As far as a police vehicle recycling, we basically haven't purchased police cruisers in a year and a half. The capital item purchasing a police cruiser is one to replace a vehicle that is very badly worn, and we do not have any replacement vehicles. So it's not something that we could recycle to the fire department. This is an absolute needed vehicle for the deputy chief to perform his duty. And the Board of Selectmen recommends that you do not vote in favor of this amendment. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Muldoon. Is there any further discussion? On the motion to amend, which is a... Gentlemen in the rear, please come to the microphone and state your name and address, sir.
Don Cook, Wadsworth Road. The reference to the deputy chief's vehicle as a in-town vehicle, it's really was presented as a passive type of vehicle to go to meetings and so on. In fact, I want to make it very clear that it's an emergency response vehicle and it's used as such on a regular basis. Don't make any mistake by thinking it's an inspection zone. I want to just make that one point. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm voting against the amendment.
Motion is to amend Article 7 capital expenditures for fiscal 04 by deleting line item A and the fire department to replace deputy chief's vehicle. Costs $24,000. Total for article to read $204,000. On the motion to amend, which requires a simple majority vote, all those in favor of so amending, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? No. Motion is lost. We are back to the main motion, and there is a motion that's been made but not yet seconded for the question. Is there any further discussion? If there is none, we proceed directly to the vote. Mr. Woodmansee requested that we take the motion item by item. I'll take a quick call to see all those in favor of taking Article 7 line item by line item, please say aye. Those opposed? No. We will take Article 7 all together. And the motion is to raise and appropriate the sum of $228,000 for the purpose of making capital expenditures as detailed as items A, B, C, E, F, G, and H as specified in Article 7 as printed in the warrant. On the motion, which requires a simple majority vote because it's appropriation from free cash, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Unanimous. Mr. Muldoon.
Mr. Moderator, I move that the following person be admitted to the meeting. Bruce Tarr.
Heard the motion to admit Senator Bruce Tarr to the meeting. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Unanimous. Mr. Tarr, welcome to North Reading. And you're free to be seated in our visitor section or, if you prefer, on stage. Article 8, operating budget. Mr. Muldoon.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. I move to increase line 6 of the FY04 operating budget, general insurance, by the sum of $76,633, and that said sum be raised and appropriated from the tax levy.
You've heard the motion. Does the Finance Committee have a recommendation? Mr. Mastascusa.
Mr. Moderator, the Finance Committee voted to recommend this article.
Does the Board of Selectmen have a recommendation? Mr. Muldoon.
Mr. Moderator, the Board of Selectmen votes to recommend this article.
Is there any further discussion? On the motion for $76,633 for line item 6. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Unanimous. Line item 95.